Hello, festival goers of the internet. I'm back. It's been a minute, but the fact that I'm back is a good sign because I was gone for very long with no announcement, no nothing, no update. I just really went ghost, went under a rock. And in this video, I'm going to tell you guys where I went, what happened, why I went ghost, why all that happened. But the Spark Notes version had some realizations. I had some, priority shift, and I just had like, an epiphany, if you will. It seems like each year I have an epiphany, and each year I talk about those because as someone who is so heavily invested into EDM, like it was such a big part of their life and such a big part of my personality as well. It's just very weird to make this video because some of the things that I'm saying might make you kind of gasp a little bit. And like one of the main points of this video is that I think I'm outgrowing EDM. And I'll talk about why and how all that happened. Too much of anything is never good, right? You've heard that expression? Just like anything in life, it grows and like it changes. And, basically what really kind of started drawing me away from the scene was, outside of all the drama and, the EDM Twitter community, right? Like all that shit. Aside from that, right? Like the pureness of what I enjoyed about going out was going out with my friends, right? Good people, good environment, good music, good times, good energy, good memories, right? And I just started losing each of those elements, it seems like. Mainly with my friends, I'll talk about that in my last video. But then we started noticing that it was like less and less of our friends at the function. And like a lot of our friends are just like fading out and, we're not seeing them as much and they're just like growing up and growing out of it. And I totally get it. I understand, like there's priorities and, we just, as you get older, it becomes more expensive and other things become more important. Talking about why I almost didn't go to Lost Lands and how we swallowed the pill of not being able to go. We couldn't afford it, and we were going to be responsible and make financial decisions and, going that route. And I talk about in that video shows not hitting because of the lack of friends. Shows were not hitting the same for me. The reason that we kind of established this was because we were just going out every weekend, and we were just, I think, going to too many things. Again, we outgrow things, our priorities shift, we get older, things get more expensive, we get kids, we move away, and we have to move because of our jobs, whatever, right? We get older, things become more important than EDM. And going out and festival hunting, and it was always weird for me because I always had, again, such a heavy hand in the scene, being a content creator and influencer. Without going to the shows and having the content to film, I don't really have a YouTube channel to run, and like lack of shows equals lack of content, and lack of content equals lack of performance, or lack of posting equals lack of consistency equals lack of performance equals lack of money, and lack of money equals lack of motivation equals fucking it sucks, right? Like you just don't want to do it. It's like, what's the point? And I kind of got to that point. It was slow. It was happening over time, but when I started realizing like where I was like, I don't think things are going to be getting any better. And it was crazy because like, if you look at the 2022 highlights, all the cool things that I did, doing media for Kzo at Avant-Garde, media for Funcase at the Ave, media from Abrada at fucking Webster Hall, First Paradise Blue, going viral on Instagram, 20 million views.
You are watching a master at work.
At the Mirage, Summoning Year 1, media for COD Dubs at Echo Stage, Electric Force 2022, Hijinks Media, Point Blank 2022, like Lost Lands Media for Wooly and Versa on the main stage. Like there's a lot of shit that happened in 2022. And then, in my 2022 Crashout video, I talk about being burnt out and doing too much and like not having enough personal time and feeling like I'm slacking if I'm not working. So I made a tweet the other day that said, I feel like I need a break, but I also feel like I haven't been doing anything. Feeling of like, I feel guilty when I'm not productive. And this is the problem. It's like, I don't really have days off because my days off are filled by making content, and I enjoy doing it, but it got to a point where I stopped enjoying it and it was really becoming work. But all that work was never actually being productive, right? I spent so much time recently earning money around the clock. Now that I'm realizing that the YouTube isn't really, well, not that I'm realizing, but now that I'm seeing that YouTube is not making me money, and like what I thought was, a possibility of like being a full-time content creator is not really as promising, and it seems kind of far-fetched now. That's because I shifted my priorities a little bit into what I'm gonna do when I become 30. I just felt like I'm becoming a cliche. I'm almost 30 years old, I still live at home with my parents, and I'm a YouTuber. Like people that, I work at a grocery store, my car's a piece of shit. Like it's just all the things that like you see in movies, right? Working at a grocery store and, you know, driving a hoopty and living at your parents' house and like, I'm just waiting for my big break. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you know, not that I'm not going to have a big break, but I need a backup plan, right? And so I started like plotting, like, yo, what can I do? How can I prepare myself for the future? And so not the easiest thing, but I feel like the most legit thing I could do was start investing in the stock market, right? Because there's money in there that people to get rich and blah, blah, blah. And so I really went down a rabbit hole and I learned about stocks and got money in the stock market and opened up an investment account and, you know, never did any like professional advice. It was all through YouTube, but I learned shit, bro. I got confident and I like, you know, took all the money that I made from merch that I've been sitting in a shoebox, put that money into the stock market. And that's why there hasn't been merch, because I'm not selling merch. Again, that was another like trigger of like, yeah, I haven't sold or moved merch in a long time. And like when I had the same batch of merch for over a year, I was like, damn. You know, the hype is gone, the buzz is gone, and I wasn't getting, you know, media passes, right? 2022 had all that cool shit happen. 2023, I got nothing. But yeah, that's basically kind of what it's come down to, is just like, I can't put as much effort into this as I used to if I want to better my life outside of EDM. And that was the question I asked myself in 2023, and I asked y'all too. What do you have to show for yourself outside of EDM? You know, yeah, you're a candy kid, yeah, you go to a lot of shows, yeah, you're popular, but like, do you have a financial job? Do you have a house? Do you have a place to live? Do you have a car? Do you have kids? Do you have other like bigger things? For me, I didn't have a lot. I still don't have a lot, but I'm working towards it. And I definitely have a lot more to show for myself now. So now it's just all about timing and more education. And you know, soon we'll be able to pull the trigger and you'll no longer be seeing me doing what I'm doing here in this room. But that's the point I also want to get in this video, is I'm not going anywhere, but I like, something's got to give. I'm waiting for that change. Right now, it doesn't line up with what I want to do, right? But again, I'm not quitting, I'm not going anywhere, but I'm just, you know, switching my focus. And I'm telling you all that, right? We're still going to new festivals. We're going to Bonnaroo this year. That's brand new news. I'm doing a Bonnaroo video after this, but that's the first ticket I've bought in 5 years, right? Since I started this channel, probably even 7 years now, right? Almost every festival since then, I've started this channel, I got for free because of this channel. And now that I'm not putting in as much effort into the channel, I'm not getting as much reward. And again, what you put in is what you get out. I have accepted that. I understand that. And like now, again, I've let go of that invisible pressure that I talk about in 2022. There is a pressure that exists on, you know, any kind of artist nowadays that is trying to like make it. You know, you have to have a social media presence and post every day and have a lot of followers and, you know, have media and pictures and logos and all this kind of shit. And it's like, it's just a lot and it's overwhelming. And it's like this pressure to post every day doesn't exist. You know, it only exists because society tells us it exists. And there's this obligation and this pressure as being a content creator that you have to post every day and be consistent and always be creative and, you know, be with the trends and be up to date and always be fresh. And like, bro, I'm not with that anymore. You know, like I cannot. And I was so tired of like putting in all this time and effort and watching my followers stay stagnant or go down. I started seeing that like my videos were they started performing like mediocrely. Like I was just kind of starting off and I was really seeing a drop in my views and subscribers and my revenue as well. That also became very, you know, unmotivating, because it's like, well, how am I going to make these videos if no one's watching and it's not making me any money? You know, it's like I'm putting in all this time and work and breaking my back on my days off to get very little in return, you know? So it's like, is it really worth putting in all of that time and effort against a pressure that doesn't even exist? And when I finally just told myself like, yo, I'm gonna let it go, I started feeling better. And like all the stuff that I thought was being productive was actually really just kind of keeping me occupied. And now it's actually been productive for me, is making money around the clock. Waking up at 8 a.m, I do Instacart. And again, it's passive income. It's on my own time. I'm my own boss. I do it when I want, for how long I want. I can do, you know, take my own breaks, whatever. I work at a grocery store too. So I'm always halfway there. I live in the same town as the grocery store, bro. I know where all this shit is on the shelf. I fucking shopping twice as fast as the app gives me and tells me. If I can't find shit, I can go right to the employees and ask for help because they all know what's good with me. It just all makes sense, you know? So I've been able to hustle myself out of debt, right? And I am now finally like ahead, right? I have no credit card bills to pay. I have no debt that I owe. I have, right? Like I'm all caught up, not making any brash purchases. I have money in my investment account. I got money in my savings account. I got money in my move out fund. I got money in my festival fund. I got money in my personal like cash fund. I have money diversified, coming in all different ways, and it's being saved, and you know, it's being properly invested, and you know, we are doing it. We're being disciplined, we're being diligent, and you know, it's been so crazy like how much better I've been doing now that I'm not letting content creation and EDM like consume me so heavily because like it is just so much work and effort and time and so much shit for such little reward. Right when I started realizing it used to be so worth it. Then like all the things started piling up against me: the lack of performance, the lack of shows, the lack of fun, the lack of friends, the lack of money, the lack of like, you know. And then it's just like bah, 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 you know. And I'm just taking blow after blow after blow, trying to sustain this shit. And it's not like I'm giving up, but I'm just letting it go. Right? Let go. I don't give a fuck how many followers I have. I don't give a fuck how often I post. I don't give a fuck about the algorithm. I don't give a fuck about posting time. I don't give a, you know, how many days it's been since the show. I'm going to post when I have time. And I always talk about that. But I'm really been diligent about that. I don't really want the term content creator anymore, you know? I just want to be the festival Finesser who goes to festivals and does his thing. He posts his vlogs, you know? And really right now is just about finances and growing my future. Right? That was the biggest thing, is I was just so like, oh, I'm going to make it. I'm going to do it because I got such a good glimpse that I could do it and could make it. But yeah, I'm really just done chasing the content and trying to beat the algorithm. Again, I'm not saying I'm quitting, but like I'm gonna be treating myself and this page more as like a normal person and like not posting every day. I'm gonna be posting like y'all do, casually when it's convenient. When I'm doing something cool, I'm doing something fun. Right now, I'm not really doing anything fun. Right, I have been working nonstop, literally around the clock. Wake up, the first thing I do is log into Instacart, see what's available, hustle as much as I can, and then I go to work, do the same thing. If I get off early, back into the app until it's like midnight. When Bree's off, I'm with Bree. You know, when my homies hit me up to do something, I'm with them. But if no one's hitting me up, I'm getting to the bag. You know, and it's been paying off. Right, and I think I'm gonna be like well set in the future. And when it comes time to move, there's gonna be no looking back. I almost feel like, you know, maybe I peaked. And what's crazy now is like, now that I've kind of like taken a step back out of EDM, I did have like an identity crisis for a second, because last year, like I said, it was what do you have to show up for yourself outside of EDM. This year it was, what is my life without EDM, right? Because I wasn't going to shows, I wasn't posting, and then I was just like, whoa, like it's nice to kind of like have a break, but like now what do I do? Right, like, and so I was like, what do I really asked myself, like, what do I like to do? What can I do? Right, like, I started asking myself, well, who am I without EDM? It's been such a big part of my life, such a big part of my personality, and everyone was asking me, like, yo, how's the festival Finesser? What's good with your YouTube channel? It's weird to be like,
oh, I'm kind of like taking a break. I'm not really doing as much.
Like, it's weird, right? But I'm finally kind of like coming out of my shell and telling y'all what's good, where I'm at, what the kind of future holds, and I don't even know what the future holds, but I'm definitely kind of like taking a step back, you know, off of, you know, my pedestal in a sense, and my high horse. I'm definitely not going to as many festivals as I used to. I definitely can't go to as many festivals as I used to because, you know, we want to be diligent about saving money. We want to be diligent about being on our own and being responsible. So I've been skateboarding a lot. I've been back on my shoe shit. I have just been back on my hip hop shit too. And that's what's crazy, but that's what really kind of made me like realize how consumed I've been by EDM is like rediscovering my love for hip hop and like, you know, rap and lyricism, and you know, just like it happened with EDM. Like I went down such a rabbit hole when I found EDM and just like kept going deeper and deeper, and I just never listened to hip hop again. Like I couldn't tell you the last Drake album for so long, and I'm finally getting back in tune with what I like. I do like a lot of genres of music, and I finally just kind of stopped limiting myself to the EDM palette and have expanded back into my realm of like all different kinds of music and vibes. And the main thing that came from it is like not knowing what to listen to, right? I'd be waking up in the morning, now that I'm not waking up and creating videos and posting shit, like I'm just waking up and chilling and like watching YouTube videos and smoking and doing whatever, and I'm just like, yo, like what's the vibe right now? And I hate looking for like a mix or a song, or like I never really had like a playlist of like vibes. It was just SoundCloud reposts and the newest shit and the freshest shit and the hottest shit, because that's always what was like expected, right? As a DJ, and just like in EDM, it's always who's got the hottest shit and the freshest remix and the newest edit and whatever, right? And it's just you find it's always who can find the newest shit first, the next undiscovered talent. Everyone's always searching, right? It seems like with hip hop, you're always waiting, right? But with EDM, you're always hunting and like searching, and it's always just being thrown at you. You don't have to go looking for it hard if you follow in the right people and whatever, if you've been in it long enough. But and again, like it just made me think like old music is bad music, because again, you're always updating your sets and putting new music and putting the freshest, hottest, newest whatever into your set playlist, whatever, right? Everyone's always coming out with something actively. What I'm getting at is old music is fucking great music, right? There is so much old music that is just like hitting me right here, like, oh my god, I forgot about this song, dude. Just like some of the EDM songs do, you forget, like, yo, I forgot how fucking good this song is, especially when so and so played it at that one fucking set. Like, it be hitting you. You be having memories from those songs and moments. I get it. But even still, my musical taste outside of EDM is still a little bit niche and underground. Not really into the whole like pop and mumble rap, and like, you know, I definitely like lyricism and like YouTube rappers and like that kind of shit. But now the YouTube rappers have made it, and some of them are on the radio now, you know, Logic being one of them as an example. But that's why I was really happy to go to Bonnaroo. The lineup is so diverse, and I was really excited to go to a festival like that, not being surrounded by EDM, you know, and I feel like I could really do a lot there as a festival finesser and branch out beyond the EDM community. Not that I'm trying to do that, but again, like, new opportunities, new festivals, that is what's gonna create that spark, that like that fire that makes you want to create content, that makes you want to go out, that makes you want to hand out business cards, you know. Not in the same festivals I've been doing it for the last 5 years. I'm looking forward to planning new festivals for the channel and new experiences, because we've been doing these same festivals 3, 4, 5, and 6 years in a row. Let's do something different for my own good, right? Because I want to do stuff different, but I want to share different experiences with you guys as well. I always talked about wanting to go to new festivals, and I never could because no one ever hits me up, and it can never plan. Again, our circle is really small now. But yeah, I've definitely been like really vibing to my hip hop in the morning, and I really went into my Spotify playlist, which hasn't been updated since like literally 2020. And I went back into just creating all my vibes and looking into all these artists and looking into new music as well. Again, it's not very plentiful. I'm not trying to look into new artists. I'm trying to look into my favorite artists from back in the day and see what kind of new shit they put out. Haven't really been listening to EDM at all, actively. How it all happened, and the main, like, you know, not the thing that really, like, you know, triggered me, but like the thing that really kind of made it, like, you know, click, is when, you know, last year I said we were being selective and only going to shows that we knew were going to be good, like Marauder and Sudden Death. Basically, it was like we had more self-control, and we stopped going to every show and going out every weekend and going to every after and going to every pre-party, you know, like, we're only going to go to artists we know we fuck with, like Marauder, Sudden Death, Midnight Tea, people that don't miss. And this year, we literally went to see Marauder and Sudden Death, and both shows were not how I expected them to be, and they were not how they used to be. They was just not the same. Something was off, something was different, and finally, just, I was like, yo, I'm tired of doing this shit for not so much in return, right? There was like, it wasn't even fun, it wasn't memorable, I didn't make a vlog, I couldn't even tell you guys how many shows I've been going to and not vlogging, because it's just not, there's no magic. The whole reason I started this show is because it was so fucking crazy, I couldn't even explain it, I couldn't put it into words, I wanted to show you. Now it feels like I'm just going out to a show. Is it because I got too mainstream? I don't know. I think definitely for me, it's because my friends. If I was with the same fucking kids that I was doing this shit when I started with, it'd be a different story, I think. But I no longer have that crew of people that we meet up with and pregame with and roll out with and walk day with and wait in line with and chill with the whole night, right? Like, I miss that shit. We don't take pictures, like, you know, that kind of shit, that camaraderie, that fam shit. Like, y'all go to every festival together, you have a group chat. Like, we don't have that no more. We don't have the regular hit ups. It's just me and Bree, and then we see who we're gonna see at the show. And there used to be the homies at the show, but now they're basically just like not even real friends, right? Like, I don't really know these people, right? It's the, yo, what's good? How you been? Good? All right, cool, bro. I'll see you around. Have a good night. Like, you know, I don't know where you live. I don't know your last name. I don't know if you got siblings. I don't know your living situation. I don't know you. So we not really friends. You feel me? Not gonna lie though, the older I get, the harder it is to kind of connect with people and find people my age that are into the same thing. So just throwing this out there, if you're over the age of 25 and you're in the tri-state area, New Jersey, New York City, and you're into music festivals and skateboarding and Nike SB Dunks, you know, and or any of these things, you know, investing, smoking weed, let me know in the comments. Let me know where you're from, slide in my DMs, whatever, and who knows what kind of doors this could open. I've been trying to, again, justify all of this stuff, and I finally just, like, accepted it all, and I'm letting it go, and now I'm putting it out into the open. I really went through it. In a sense, like, I wasn't going through it mentally, but I just was, like, struggling, I think, to find myself and what I should do and how I should handle this. And in the end, I just kind of, like, locked in and didn't focus on this. And I said, I'll figure this shit out later. Right now, I got to figure out what's good with me and what I'm going to do for myself and my future. And the YouTube shit and the festival shit was not benefiting me, so I stopped focusing on it. Started focusing on what the best thing I could do was make money, because if I wanted to start investing in the stock market, I needed money to invest in because I was a little bit afraid to use my own money. So I started using money that was kind of passive to me, right? Money that I was earning on the side, a little bit here, a little bit there. I started doing the merch thing on Etsy. So I basically like stopped doing merch that I had to invest in out of my own pocket, right? And like front money on, because now I still have $300 worth of merch that's sitting in a garbage bag that I've been bringing to festivals. I stopped bringing to festivals because it's just like it stopped moving. What I started doing was designing merch like this with, you know, dubstep themed, dubstep elements, rhythm elements, just culture, lingo, you know, phrases, whatever, right? All these different kinds of like illustrations and imageries, whatever, and selling them on Etsy under a different kind of like alias. They're designed by me, but manufactured and printed by someone else and shipped by somebody else. But I did the store, I did all of the, you know, the models and all that stuff. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. If you ever see it on Etsy, dubstep streetwear, that's me. I have a whole, you know, dubstep and rhythm themed section of just merch. Things you can wear to festival shows that say like, yo, I'm a dubstep fan, I like rhythm, you know. But they're not text-based, really. A lot of my merch prior was text-based and letters and very simple and just kind of like simple shapes. These are very detailed, intricate, multiple colors, detailed designs, you know, just very things that are representative of dubstep. You know, black, red, all the shit is black.
Yeah, hey, okay, black on black, my thoughts so black.
So that's what I've been doing. Again, side hustle. All that money gets invested back into the stock market. It's passive income. Just another thing that I can do for myself, for the community, keep my, you know, enjoyment for dubstep alive. But I think the thing that's going to be the most fun to me is going to festivals with my friends and traveling the country and seeing friends from different states, right? In different states for the same thing, but different things, right? I want to go to new festivals, and I think that I said it last year, but I think I'm done with Lost Lands, FK. I'm not done with them, but like I don't want to go to these festivals again until I've gone to new festivals to replace them for a couple years, right? Because again, I've done all these festivals, FK, Big Dub, Lost Lands, 3, 4, 5, 6 years in a row. Let's do something new that isn't so expected, that, you know, that can just kind of like add to the portfolio, that like is not even like, it's not a professional portfolio, but it's just like, you know, like I want to just like catch them all. I want to finesse them all. I want to go to all these festivals and just really kind of like test my festival knowledge, and, you know, not really why, but like also have a good time. But, you know, I like sharing the experience, and, you know, every festival can potentially be a challenge. There hasn't been one that I haven't really had a problem with yet since I started this channel. But I think the next video is going to be regarding Bonnaroo. And I think that I've said everything that I want to get out and say. And the last, I guess, Spark Notes version here, 2025. We're saving money. We're adding to the funds daily. We're almost at our goal. We're going to a new fest. We got tickets to Bonnaroo, ready for new experiences, new mentality with this. I don't give a fuck about social media, but still going to the festival, still creating the content in a less serious manner, I guess, and a more personal manner. We're using money as a tool. Money is not the goal. Freedom is the goal. I really am just trying not to be 40 and realize all I did was impress the internet. That was a big factor that I, you know, saw. I saw it on Facebook, and there were a couple posts on Facebook that I saw and really hit me, and that was one of them. Some of y'all are only going to be 40, and all you did was realize you impressed the internet, and that's kind of what I had going for me at the moment. Like I had, you know, I didn't really have anything cool to show for myself. I'm cool on the internet, but I'm not really cool in real life. And if you were into EDM, you think I was a loser, right? And if you are into EDM, you still might think I'm a loser, because you probably are doing what I'm doing, but you have a nice car, you have a nice house, you have your own place, you have kids, you know, you have bigger things to show for yourself than just a couple followers, or, you know, a lot of experiences, or a lot of fucking, you know, festival wristbands, like, you know. So yeah, I think there's just kind of like no more eating and sleeping and breathing EDM for the time being. Like, again, I'm not being a hater. I'm not like quitting. I'm not leaving the scene. I'm just focusing more on what's more important, my priorities, and I am reminding myself of what I really enjoy. This consumed me for so long because it was what I wanted to do, and I thought it was what I'm going to do. Now that I'm kind of realizing it's not going to happen, you know, or it might not happen, I need a backup plan. I have been opening the door to more of things that I like and enjoy and kind of forgot about. Thought that I weren't cool, or thought that were lame or whack, or kind of forgot about. And I'm really enjoying them. So I am like a whole different person, honestly. If you knew me from like 2019, I mean, I guess we all are, right? That was kind of a long time ago. But what I'm trying to say is like, I'm I guess evolving, kind of like how I did when I got into EDM, and then you went from like the house to the dubstep, and I'm evolving into the outside world again. We'll come back around, I think, into the EDM world. Still gonna be doing sets, still gonna be going to festivals, but it really has to be a mood and a want to really dive back into the music, because like I said, I've really been enjoying the vibes that have been coming from music that's not EDM. Yeah, so I think that's it. 40 minutes is enough. Make sure you guys are focusing on your future, keeping your money in check, not buying things that you can't afford, or not going to places you can't afford, or not making rash decisions, and not quitting your job to go to festivals. That shit is whack. That shit is an L move, and you are going to regret those things later on in life. I feel like all that kind of partying and things are catching up with me now that I'm almost 30. I'm 29, going to be 30 this year. I wanted to have more things in check. I wanted to be proud of some more things, and I'm finally getting there. So again, I'm happy. I wanted to make this video so that y'all can do the same and learn from me. And again, if you're younger, get those things in check now. Get some investments going. Get used to saving money. Save your money. Don't go to what you can't afford. Don't think going to every festival is cool. Don't think that you need a lot of followers to be cool. Don't think having a lot of followers is the key to success. Don't think having money is the key to success. Money is the tool. Freedom is the goal. And, everyone has a different version of success. So I think that is my 2 cents. That's the end of my preaching for the day, for the night. On the Festival Finesser, again, I love y'all. Peace out. I'll see you guys at Bonnaroo.